Why beauty holds such a power in our society? Well, a person who fits beauty standards is often associated with positive personality traits, has more dates, and may receive lower bail, among other benefits. It can pose challenges for individuals deemed unattractive. People attempt to address this unfair advantage of attractiveness. For instance, in Australia, job applications often omit photos. However, during interviews, attractiveness can still significantly impact outcomes. If two candidates possess identical qualifications but differ in attractiveness, the attractive individual is more likely to secure the job. This doesn't imply the employer is based. Rather, it reflects a common human tendency in such situations.
In the eye of the beholder.
So, why is beauty often considered subjective? As captured in the famous saying, in the eye of the beholder. Isn't it true that our unique experiences in different environments influence our perceptions of attractiveness, even among individuals with similar genetic backgrounds? This diversity in perception is evident in scenarios where fashion models can make a fortune with their good looks, while friends endlessly debate about who is attractive and who is not. In 2015 study, researchers examined two groups, identical twin pairs sharing all genes and same-sex non-identical twin pairs sharing some genes. Participants rated the attractiveness of various faces, revealing that randomly selected pairs agreed only 48% of the time, while disagreeing 52% of the time. This study highlights the significant role our environments play in shaping our preferences and specific ideas of attractiveness. Thus, this suggests that there is no absolute definition of attractiveness, and that the environment predominantly shapes our beauty standards. Could eliminating environmental influence from the beauty equation lead to equality? Not exactly. Despite diverse preferences and perceptions, the study revealed a notable level of consensus among participants about certain faces being commonly considered more or less attractive. In essence, despite environmental, cultural, social, or other influences, there seems to be a general agreement on who is perceived as attractive and who isn't. If not all of these factors, then where did our understanding of who is and who isn't attractive come from? The 2004 study investigated whether 6 months old infants could categorize faces as attractive or unattractive. The results showed that infants gaze longer at faces judged by adults as attractive and spend less time looking at faces judged as unattractive. These were 6 months old infants who hadn't experienced environmental, cultural, or other influences, yet somehow they exhibited a preference for certain faces.
The brain.
Nothing in beauty makes sense except in light of the brain. Many different regions of our brain contribute to evaluating the value or attractiveness of faces and bodies rather than solely processing their physical features. In other words, we are selecting a partner not solely for their facial symmetry, but for perceived health indicators and reproductive advantages these features represent. Both men and women generally consider disproportionately smaller feet in women as more attractive because it signals usefulness and contributes to the perception of overall health. Interestingly, as women age and have children, their feet tend to increase in size relative to their height. And seeing beautiful faces next to branded products isn't just about telling us what's beautiful. Our brains more value attractive visuals, so that's why they use them in ads. Similarly, our brains are captivated by Victoria's Secret angels. Despite these supermodels conforming to unrealistic beauty ideals that don't represent the majority of women.
Unrealistic beauty standards.
Traits such as symmetry, face and body proportions, foot size, facial color, and wrinkles are known as costly signals. Our brain evolved to prioritize these traits as they serve as reliable measures of health and reproductive fitness in both men and women. In the modern era, the widespread use of digital enhancements, makeup, and filters on social media platforms allows us to manipulate or fake these costly signals, often without those who consume the content realizing what is happening. This leads to the creation of unrealistic beauty standards that result in eating disorders, depression, and poor psychological functioning at the global level. Now, imagine if all content undergoing digital enhancements had a disclaimer stating that images are digitally altered. Wouldn't that be great? Such disclaimers could help reduce the level of body dissatisfaction linked to the pursuit of an unrealistic ideal by aiding our understanding of what is and isn't real. A 2012 Australian study supported this idea and concluded that it would help.
Follow-up studies.
Growing number of studies have found no amelioration of the negative effects of media images by labeling, and in fact, the opposite may be the case. The study by Bissell showed one group of women images of models with a tagline indicating digital manipulation. Surprisingly, this group desired to look like the models more than group shown the same images with no tagline. This boomerang effect indicates that awareness of digital alterations could increase rather than decrease the image's influence. Subsequent research suggested that these disclaimers might not help and could even worsen body perceptions, contradicting initial expectations. By now, you're probably wondering what the solution might be. And the truth is, I don't have one. The point of this video is to show you that the topic of human beauty is super complicated and has a substantial influence on our lives. How we perceive others, how they perceive us, and more importantly, how we perceive ourselves. Sometimes admitting uncertainty is preferable to having a confidently held but incorrect opinion. Thanks for watching.